I have a special person that I want you to see and greet. His Excellency, the President of Ghana.
Hi.
Mahama.
Hi, Nana Rita. How are you?
His Excellency, say how are you?
Yeah.
She's good.
We miss you. We miss you in Ghana. We miss you in Ekwapim.
You ready to go back to Ghana?
Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Good
Thank you for checking in with her.
Yes.
Your Excellency. It means a lot.
Thank you so much. And give her our love, yeah, from all the people of Ghana. Amen.
Your Excellency. Okay?
Thank you.
Happy belated birthday.
Is our Prime Minister there?
Yes.
We have a delegation here.
Hi.
And they're all wishing you the best.
Now, this is a Lifetime Grammy Award achievement presented to Bob Marley's wife, Mrs. Marley, for Bob Marley in the year 2001. In that very same year, he achieved the Hollywood Walk of Fame star, which you will see when we go over that side. In case you didn't know, for the Bob Marley One Love movie produced by Paramount 2 years ago, the soundtrack in the movie is from some of Bob Marley's album, and just for that, sir, he received a next Grammy Award. And these are some beautiful VIP backstage passes of some of the shows he went to perform at. He did his first song when he was 16 years old. Title track of that song, Judge Not. First album release on the Islandton record label owned by Mr. Chris Blackwell, Catch a Fire. Biggest selling album is right over here, sir. Legend. Did you all know Legend is a compilation remix of some of Bob Marley's songs after the pass of Bob Marley? This album sold more than 15 million copies in US only and 33 million copies globally. It surpassed those numbers a long, long time ago. It is rated in England as 11x Platinum and the best reggae album of all time. Big album, Exodus, album of the century. And this album, we have a beautiful track, sir, and I know you know that track. Yeah, it's called One Love, and that One Love song is the 45 of the million. One love. When I say Bob, you said Marley. Bob. Bye. And if you're Irish, just said yeah, man. Thank you very much.
The very moment our president became a Nyabingi far away in Jamaica. But today is the 6th day in the month of August 2026. Exactly 1 year, the 8 heroes met their untimely death. And of course, we here at WoezorTV, and to a large extent, the over 30 million Ghanaians who marked that remembrance service with an occasional event at the UPSA auditorium this morning. But we are here to serve you the best of breakfast on TV. 8 a.m. the program will commence, and then once we have a live or a clear feed, we'll cross over to the UPSA auditorium for that remembrance service that will come your way on yours truly. But talking about the fallen 8, you can mention Dr. Edward Kofi Omani Buama, Alhaji Dr. Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed, Alhaji Muniru Mohammed Limuna, Dr. Samuel Sapon, and Mr. Samuel Abuaji. Also along with some Ghanaian Air Force personnel, Squadron Leader Peter Bafemi Anala, Flying Officer Manin Chum Ampedu, and also Sergeant Ernest Ado Mensa. The fallen 8, may their souls continue to rest in perfect peace. But good morning and welcome to the WoezorTV Breakfast Cafe. As I intimated, the morning is solely dedicated to the fallen 8, and at 8 we shall cross over to the UPSA auditorium for the service. But sitting beside me is Alhaji Karim, who is also in all dark colors this morning. Now who will join us pretty shortly as well. Karim, good morning.
Morning, my brother.
It's not a usual morning for us.
Yeah.
1 year we are here.
1 year, 365 days.
Yeah.
You know, quite unfortunate. I don't think it's a day that anybody would want to be remembering or casting their minds back to. Quite unfortunate. Not a day we hope that it ever happens again in the history of our country. I mean, these were abled men, had so much life ahead of them, had achieved so much at a young age, and had so much more that they could achieve, set to serve their nation. And unfortunately, in that untimely manner, they lost their lives in the fight against one of the deadliest canker that's eaten away this country. And so it's quite unfortunate that that has had to happen. But yes, today we get to celebrate, their heroism, and to remember them for their contributions to the development and betterment of this country at large. And so we salute them today, and I believe that what the country can best do for them is to continue to remember them and to continue to celebrate their heroism for this country. They died in the line of duty. They died serving this country. They died hoping to make things better for this country. But it so happened that God had his own plans. And in Islam we say that God gives and he takes. And we always pray that may he take us when he's pleased with us. And I want to believe that today as we speak, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with our brothers, our fathers, our uncles, our bosses, our mentors, our teachers, whom he has called to be by his side. You remember after the accident, when we started digging into the biographies of these individuals, and then we realized the kind of people that a lot of them were, beyond what we saw on the screens, beyond what was reported by the media, behind the scenes. I'd say that these guys were human beings. They were humane in their dealings. They were kind, they were nice, they were generous people, they were humble people. And it goes further to tell you, why God would, as it were, choose to call them to come and be by his side. Of course, we would not wish even for our worst enemy to have passed on the way that they did, to the point where it becomes even extremely difficult to recognize whose body this is, whose body that is. It had to take DNA to be able to sort out the remains, and that in itself would be quite an unfortunate scene to witness. And so we just continue to pray that Allah grants them Jannah, and we also continue to pray for their families and loved ones whom they left behind, and as well also continue to send them our love and our strength, and hope that they are able to gain the necessary strength to carry on, to continue to bear this pain that Allah has left them with. See, no matter what it is, whenever a day like this comes when you have to remember how a loved one passed on, those triggers will definitely come. But like I said, continue to send them love. We'll continue to pray for them, and we pray that Allah grants them the strength to be able to carry on during these very tough moments of their life. So if you're watching us this morning, wherever it is that you may be, please remember to say a prayer for our fallen eight, and remember to say a prayer for their families as well. And while at it, also remember to say a prayer for Ghana, that may we never see a day like this. And of course, say a prayer for yourself as well, and for your loved ones, that may God continue to keep us. May he grant us good health. May he grant us long life. And
for you that day, I think you even drew my attention to it.
Yes.
Where were you?
So we had just finished the show.
Yeah.
And I think we stepped out to get food to eat.
Yeah.
When I received the first call, informing me that there was a plane crash, and the person wanted to confirm from me if I've heard of something like that, because obviously because of where we sit, the assumption typically would be that as media people, once some of these things happen, it would be the first point of call. And so whether we had such information, and I confirmed I wasn't so sure, but I would revert. So it was after that call that I called a cousin of mine who happens to be with the Air Force. And he mentioned that indeed there had been an accident, and the information that he also has is that all 8 persons aboard the aircraft had lost their lives, but he could not confirm the identities of the individuals in question. And so, you know, different names were popping up. I don't want to mention those names, of course, for the sake of some reason, but different names started popping up as to who, you know, the individuals in question were. And so just shortly after that, when we came back into the office, was when the chief of staff held a press conference with the media and made that announcement, and, you know, it shook the nation. It shook the nation. It doesn't matter, you know, who you are and what relationship you had with these people. The moment you heard that story, you know, you were moved to tears. I mean, we all wept, right, when it happened. And yeah, I believe that the state did what it had to do. And one thing that I must commend the state for, in all sincerity, is how, you know, they were able to quickly mobilize and get the funerals done for all the, you know, individuals in question, so that at least it gives the family and gives the nation closure. Ordinarily, we would have waited for a very long time, keep the bodies away in a morgue, and for many months before we even think about getting them buried and holding the funeral and all of that. But I'm glad how the state went about it and quickly mobilized and got things done. Beyond that, we also remember that the state also asked for some public donations and support for the families of the individuals in question. And just was it last week or earlier this week, they presented those packages to the families, including, of course, educational support, insurance, and what have you. And I believe that is how a nation honors its true heroes. And so, of course, kudos to the government of the day for taking such initiatives and taking such bold steps. What it does is that it tells people that, look, it is worth dying for your country, because even in your absence, your country would honor who you truly are as a person. And there are a number of people who have died in the line of duty that we have seen the state honor the way they honored the fallen eight. And so, yeah, I mean, it's
and Karim, on your screen,
yeah,
the venerable Ibrahim
Murtala was a big
and of course, I think Parliament will miss Murtala Mohammed.
Yeah.
You know, one of the maverick MPs we've had in our generation.
Fantastic individual.
Yeah.
You know, very humble, very knowledgeable, very intelligent.
Yeah.
You know, and whenever Murtala spoke, you could find a combination of knowledge, wisdom, and, you know, humility all combined.
And hard work.
And a lot of hard work. A lot of hard work, very in-depth. And it was quite unfortunate that such fine brains would have to leave the surface of this earth the way they did. Murtala was an amazing person.
Kevin, I remember, I mean, I think after after the 2016 elections or so, the communications department of the NDC, I think then we had Murtala Mohammed. That was when he became very popular and very vociferous on the airwaves, together with Dr. Edward Obani Buama. So I think after their defeat in 2016, and they were very hard talking on matters as well. And also, I mean, prior to the 2024 elections, we saw Dr. Omani Buama in charge of elections and IT. How hard they were, or he was on the Electoral Commission, and anytime they go to IPAC, the tough questions that he kept asking. And a few times that we had opportunities to interview him as well. And I think that Ghana has lost some great, brilliant brains. But Karim, again, in the line of duty that we really know, that is why I think that maybe we as a people ought to honor them well by ending these illegal mining activities. If for nothing at all, these 8 men died because they were going to check, they were going to work. I mean, the onus now lies on us that are alive to really honor them by ending galamsey. And the call is made right from the very beginning, and I just hope that today will still remind us, today will give us that opportunity to reflect upon all of these things, and then probably change our attitude as we move on. But Karim, the ceremony will be held at the UPSA auditorium. We will just take a quick break. When we return, we run through the activities to expect today as far as the remembrance service is concerned. This is the WoezorTV breakfast cafe. We take a break. There is more after.
About the dollar, talking about gold, and I'm asking myself whether we just discovered gold. If you are not being pretentious and you are telling us that the NDC is continuing with some of the so-called good works, where were you? Didn't you have the good works when you won the elections at the back of competence and their communicators went to town with it? Not a scintilla of evidence were they able to provide. But everybody in this country, if you mention the NPP, even 2-year-old child would associate it with what? Corruption. If you mention the NPP to anybody who is not even in this country, they would associate it with what? With corruption. To the extent that you have communicators of the New Patriotic Party who indeed have all gone on radio, and there are evidences that one of the reasons why they are struggling was because there was unacceptable level of corruption in the administration of the NPP. So, Mr. Speaker, I am saying,
Pau arrested Nimaku, the MPP Director for Elections and Research. They arrested his statement because he slipped and said when they got the register, they printed it. And then they said, so it means that you got the register way ahead of the exhibition. Are you getting it? So when MPP comes to tell you, they all received at the same time, I take that with a pinch of salt. Of course, Evans then recanted and tried to rationalize. But out of abundance of the heart, thy mouth speaketh. From now till December 7, we will work with them.
Grief can sometimes leave us feeling helpless and disempowered. There is no making sense of what happened. Despite whatever technical reasons or official explanations an investigation will yield, a loss of this magnitude and in this manner will never make sense to the grieving heart. What we can do, each of us in our own way, as we try to come to terms with this tragic loss, is to move in the direction of peace within our communities and families, having been reminded of how fragile life can be. I pray that this funeral will bring closure to a grieving nation, and that a new dawn will break in which we can look forward with pride as Ghanaians to a prosperous nation. And that today we pray that this will be the beginning as the Almighty God heals our land.
Daddy, why did you have to leave us so soon? We really thought you'd live forever because your light was so bright it could never go out.
Bafemi, you have left me broken. This was not the plan, Peter. This was not it. Bafemi, please come back.
Money. What is this grief? And what am I supposed to do with it? I keep checking my phone for a message, or a picture, or a call. I have been checking since Wednesday.
Shame on you, death. You have not won. Christ has.
Mike, Yankee Sierra, Whiskey Echo Echo Tango, Bravo Alpha Bravo Yankee, Bravo Oscar Yankee, India Lima Oscar Victor, Echo Yankee Oscar Uniform.
Or we can be the generation that ends it for good.
Malaria must die, so millions can live.
Only a father can understand. Only a husband can understand. Only a man can understand. Prostate cancer. It's about more than fear of cancer. It's about fear of losing urinary control and sexual function. That's why more men turn to Jackson South for robotic surgery than anywhere else in South Florida. Get the facts at jacksonprostatefacts.org. Miracles made daily.
Time now for the WoezorTV report. Let's take a look at the headlines. Thanks so much for joining us. Now the details of the story. Ghana Medical Trust Fund is stepping up efforts to build partnership aimed at improving healthcare delivery across the country. Its administrator has paid a courtesy call on the Ga Manche King Takiteko Chu II to officially introduce the fund and seek support of the Ga Traditional Council. The visit highlighted the fund's commitment to supporting people living with chronic non-communicable diseases while strengthening Ghana's healthcare system. Rachel Asamoah has more.
Trust Fund is seeking to build strong partnerships with traditional authorities as it rolls out interventions aimed at easing the financial burden of chronic illness on Ghanaians. During a courtesy call on the Ga Manche at his palace in Accra, the administrator of the fund, Adra Obobiadakon Opoku, said the visit was symbolic because the fund secretariat is located on Ga land. She noted that the initiative, established by the President John Dramani Mahama, is committed to ensuring that no Ghanaian is denied life-saving treatment because of financial constraints, while focusing on 4 key areas, including providing financial assistance to patients with chronic diseases, investing in critical medical equipment and healthcare infrastructure, supporting specialist medical training, and promoting research and innovation.
For far too long, families have struggled in silence with diseases such as cancer, kidney disease, heart disease, and other chronic non-communicable conditions. These illnesses not only affect patients, but often impoverish entire households. The Ghana Medical Trust Fund was created to change this story by restoring hope, preserving dignity, and ensuring that financial hardship is not a barrier to health care.
Receiving the delegation, the Ga Manche King Takiteko Chu II commended the initiative and stressed the urgent need for greater investment in specialist healthcare services. Drawing from his visit to major children's health facilities, he said Ghana's healthcare system requires sustained support and called for improvement in post-surgery care and specialist treatment.
Our healthcare system needs the kind of help we are receiving now. Initiatives like this, are huge and substantial. And I believe that you will make it efficient. We need all of you to understand that healthcare is premium. And it should be prime in the agenda and policy of government.
The visit ended with a presentation of a symbolic gift by the Ghana Medical Trust Fund to the Ga Manche ahead of this year's Home War Festival, reaffirming the fund's commitment to working closely with traditional leaders to improve healthcare access and outcomes across the country. For WoezorTV, Rachel Asamoah.
Now, away from that, the National Democratic Congress says it is taking deliberate steps to safeguard the history and protect the party's legacy for future generations. The party has completed a 6-volume publication documenting its journey from its formation to the present day. The collection chronicles key milestones, including media coverage of the party over the years, its internal leadership elections, manifesto development, constitutional evolution, and other defining moments in its history. There's more in the following report.
Democratic Congress has completed a comprehensive 6-volume publication documenting its history in what the party describes as a major step towards preserving its legacy for future generations. The collection traces the NDC's journey from its inception to the present day, capturing major events that have shaped the party over the years. It includes historical newspaper coverage, accounts.
And away from the NDC, the Ghana High Commission in the United Kingdom has announced a mandatory oath of affirmation and scholarship validation exercise for all Ghanaian government-sponsored students studying in the UK. The month-long exercise will run from 13th August to 4th September 2026, in line with the Ghana Scholarships Authority Act 2025, Act 1149, and the Act's Oath of 1972. The High Commission says all beneficiaries must personally swear the required oath before a designated officer and complete the validation process. It's warned that students who fail to comply will face consequences, as the exercise is aimed at strengthening oversight of government scholarship administration. Validation sessions will be held at selected locations in the UK to make the process accessible to all students. And now lawyers for Hanan Abdul Wahab and Kwabna Edu Buahin have petitioned the Chief Justice to reverse the decision allowing their criminal cases to continue during the legal vacation. The defense teams argue that the directive is unconstitutional, departs from established judicial practice, and undermines their clients' rights to adequate legal representation. They contend that the High Court judges sitting during the vacation are only permitted to hear motions, not substantive criminal trials. Justice Francis Achibonga, who is presiding over the two cases, has adjourned proceedings to 11th and 12th August 2026 after receiving authorization from the Chief Justice to sit during the court vacation. And now the Greater Accra Regional Security Council, the REGSEC, will continue the second phase of demolition targeting structures built on waterways at Laboma and Agboglushi as part of efforts to reduce flooding in the capital. The exercise follows recent cleanup operations, the silting of drains, and earlier demolitions undertaken in the aftermath of the June 29 floods. Speaking after a monitoring visit to selected metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies, the Greater Accra Regional Minister Lindo Klue said the government remains committed to tackling flooding and reclaiming waterways obstructed by illegal structures.
Must come down. So we'll do a major demolition over there, hopefully next week. Myself and Mayor will be doing some demolition over there, and so that we want to create a buffer like you said. And so you see that all those refuse, were being caused by those squatters over there. And so when we clear the place, we wouldn't have much issues there. So our major challenge is to make sure that we demolish the illegal structures over there. We'll be at Laboma this Friday. We'll be doing a major demolition exercise over there. From there, yes. And so we have a couple of buildings that will be doing. Even this structure, you could see that is sitting. Yes. And so the MC just drew my attention that they've already informed the people around. And so all this place, there will be a demolition exercise.
Time now for some international news. Now, Nigerian soldiers had to get a pay increase of up to 80%, their second salary increase in a month, for what President Bola Tinubu says is the government's deep appreciation of those battling the nation's enormous security threats. In July, the defense minister raised the monthly wages for privates, the lowest ranks of soldiers, from $36 to $73. With the president's intervention, they will now receive $132 from September. It is part of Tinubu's efforts to curb violence from various armed groups, including Islamist militants and criminal kidnap gangs known locally as bandits. Last month, he ordered the recruitment of 28,000 extra soldiers and the creation of 4 new army divisions. Continuing insecurity nationwide has become a major political issue ahead of the 2027 elections. Announcing the salary hikes, the president praised the courage and sacrifices of members of the armed forces, comforting the scourge of banditry, kidnapping, and terrorism. Now this brings us to the end of the WoezorTV report. Many thanks for staying with us. I'm Karen. Now Yukoti.
Your flight is ready to leave.
Sit back and relax and enjoy the flight.